Cassian Andor. The Empire is choking us so slowly. We're starting not to notice. What I'm asking is this. Wouldn't you rather give it all to something real?
What were some of those conversations you had at the beginning about what the tone of the show would be?
Well, we exactly aim for something different. We were not just allowed to be different, we were meant to be different, you know? It's like what Rogue One represents for the world of the movies, you know, and the saga, you know, it was the first standalone. It was supposed to be its own. And we as a series have the same kind of goal, you know. We have a beginning and an end. It's not a series that can go forever, obviously. You know what the end is. And we are just going to go witness the 5 years prior to Rogue One, you know, in 2 seasons. And yes, it's going to have a little bit of that dark and more greedy tone. There's action and adventure, and the big scope of Star Wars is there. But at the same time, we can give ourselves the chance to explore a more intimate approach to the characters, you know. Sometimes it's a spy thriller, you know, kind of like a very political drama. And we like that. It's a complex story, you know, also. And we're hoping audiences enjoy that.
I need all the heroes I can get.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
So I was really excited for it. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie out of the new lot. And so when they announced that this was going to be, I think it's such a tight, fun, great sort of little story that, you know, I mean, we all enjoy the big mythology and the arc of things, but there is something to be said for a movie that, exactly as you said, is contained, has a beginning and an end. And because it was just a great ensemble cast of characters as well. But I guess, you know, you were part of an ensemble and now this is a slightly different experience. You're the lead of the show. I mean, what was that experience like for you personally?
I think it's quite unfair to call the show Andor, to be honest, because there is so many characters in this one. I also see it like as an ensemble piece, you know, because you get to also the long format gives you the chance to explore many storylines, you know, and it is different, and in fact it feels great to have the chance to be part of this project from scratch, you know. In Rogue One, I felt like I was thrown into an airplane that took off way before I was sitting there, you know. And now I'm there, you know, from scratch, from the start. And that is a beautiful experience for me, you know, a learning experience that I'm gonna remember forever, you know. That's quite amazing to be around so many people you admire that much, you know, and having the chance to interact and be part of ideas when they're just ideas, you know, then it makes you feel like you own it in a very special and particular way.
I mean, it's kind of like you're in the cockpit this time of that plane.
Kind of, yeah. Obviously, the controls are in the hands of Tony Gilroy, which I respect. You know, like I think it's an amazing writer. It's a writer that brings so much complexity to the material, and it's. There's so many layers. It's so interesting. He doesn't live in the right and wrong, or, you know, black and white. He spends his time writing about the gray areas, and that to me is something very, very juicy as an actor.
There's fermenting out there, son. Pockets of fermenting. You're in my net. Are you a fish? Or are you a thief?
I mean, you are an executive producer on the series. Did you get to be very involved behind the scenes in developing a lot of the story ideas?
More than in the development, in reacting to that process, you know. Again, it's interesting to be an executive producer in a show that you're going to end up acting on, you know, because it allows you to start from afar with a very objective look And then when you are 2-3 weeks about start shooting, then you jump right in, in the middle. And but you have all that knowledge, you already have that perspective of someone that has been witnessing from afar, and it's really useful for me, because it gives me freedom when I'm shooting. As an actor, I know I own the place. It's like I get to a set and I know the set since it was a drawing. I'm not reacting to it for the first time. I know why decisions were made. I know the logic behind every decision, and that is freedom for an actor.
I mean, when you signed on to do Rogue One all those years ago, there was clearly an ending for your character. Did you ever think you'd get to do this again? And because you've been part of this world before, did you think you were better prepared for the whole process? Do you feel better prepared for the fandom that's going to come?
Obviously, no, I didn't. When I shot Rogue One, I was just thinking of Rogue One, and that was it, And in fact, it was easy. It made things easier for me, I was there just for a movie. It had a beginning and an end, and I was gonna experience the process, then the opening, and then that was it for me. I would be able to go back to my life and do the projects I was doing, and it was great. And now, being part of this, it's been very special, because I do feel I'm much more mature, and I understand better the language, and the dynamics of this system, that I can enjoy more, that I can be more in control of what I'm doing, and when you talk about the fan base and the expectation that a project like this, or whatever Star Wars project generates, for me, it's fortune. It's amazing. It's what you look for. You want people to hear the story you want to tell. You want to know there's a need for what you're working on, and the love that fans have for this universe is unique. It's like nothing else, and I feel blessed to be part of something that means so much to so many.